Okay, this is Cauthorn again, and this is my first real video on getting started in Python. So let's get started. By this time, you should have done the following, and if you didn't, then you need to do it. Don't worry about this next page thing down here. This process is still in development, and I just haven't eliminated that from the picture yet. The reason it's still in development is because I'm building a run stream to run it, and that's a little bit difficult from time to time. Also, don't worry about those Java updates that keep popping up. I don't know why. I've got all my Java updates, but sometimes it's an imperfect system, and that's the best I can do right now, and I'm hoping it'll improve as we move along. By this time, you should have watched the introductory videos. Those are the videos that I put out that I sent you a link to through the announcement. You should have looked at the syllabus. I can't make you look at the syllabus. I'm not going to make you look at the syllabus. It's not something that I think it's a waste of time in class. So we're not going to look at it. You should have downloaded the book. Or all the books, actually. There are 3, so that if Canvas goes down, your world does not come to a halt, because Canvas does go down, and most of this material will come from the book. Excuse me, it's a cloudy day and pollen is up there, and I have allergies. You should have Python up and running by this time. You should be able to do at least these 2 things. Know the Python shell and open up the Python IDE and be able to work with it. You should be anxious to get some programming done. Honestly and truly, one of the things I've always felt was terrible about programming classes was they start you off with boring stuff and they don't really give you anything to do. You're going to learn how to program from the get-go in my class, because I'm tired of putting people to sleep with my tedium. So we'll close these and we'll go on to the next slide, which is slide 11. And slide 11 opens up reasonably quick. Why do you want to learn to be a programmer or a Python programmer? Well, there are a lot of reasons to be a Python programmer, among other things, attractive salaries. Really, 51 to 150K a year is not unreasonable. It's a valuable skill to have on your resume. Programming anytime is a valuable skill to have on your resume. If you can figure things out, people want to hire you. You don't necessarily have to agree with them all the time, but if you can figure things out, people will want to hire you. Job offers all around you. Folks, I'm almost 70 years old, and I'm still getting people who are interested in me. Flexible hours. Hey, it's 11:15 in the morning in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I'm sitting here making this video. I mean, I could be making this video at 2 a.m. in the morning, and nobody would care. It expresses your creativity. I have long said that programmers are just frustrated writers. They need a creative outlet. Well, you can be creative as a programmer because you're just a writer. It's nothing wrong with that. Let's get out of here. And let's go back to slide 12. And this is what a programming language is. A lot of people want to build some kind of mystery around programming languages. I don't like doing that. A programming language is a vocabulary and set of grammatical rules for instructing a computer or computing device to perform a specific task. I did not write this. I stole it from somewhere. I stole it a long time ago. I have no idea where I stole it from. But it basically says it all. You can't talk to a program or to a computer like you can your 5-year-old to teach him to tie a shoe. A computer is a whole lot dumber than your 5-year-old. Now, they may be just as frustrating, but they're a whole lot dumber than your 5-year-old, and you need to understand that. So you need a medium of exchange with rules associated with it and everything that will let you communicate with it. And that's what a programming language does. Let's see. Let's kill this one. Let's get rid of 10 because we don't need it anymore. That was 12. Let's move on to 13. I came across this quote, what can you expect to learn in this class? I came across this quote on Quorum a while back, and I think it applies to any programming class. You're expected to learn all the definitions and the words you use, the subject matter offer me, whether you provide them to the class in a glossary or not. I expect to learn these concepts to full conceptual understanding. You're going to learn something here. You're going to learn how to talk the talk, how to walk the walk, how to sit there and bang your head when you have to. I'm expecting to learn all the basic principles of the subject. You're going to learn the basic principles of the subject and what you're doing. You're going to expect to learn what is true and false about this subject. There's a lot of true and false stuff out there about computer programmers. False. Computer programmers are dull people that sit in a room all day long and do nothing but hang their head low and have arched backs and stuff like that. No, that ain't so. I actually think I'm a pretty interesting character given an opportunity. You're expected to learn how to apply your knowledge to specific situations. When you walk out of this class, if you can't see some situations where you can apply your programming knowledge, then bingo, I haven't done my job. I haven't done my job. And that's an important thing to grab. You're expected to learn precision skills. Hey, make a little mistake. Nothing runs. But it ran yesterday. Oh my God, what happened? That's not what you do. You learn the skills that allow you to sit there and interact with the system and figure out what's wrong. I'm willing to learn anything of value as long as you can show us as a class. Basically, you learn better as a group than you do individually. I'm a firm believer in that. So keep these things in mind. This is really what it's all about. That's what you can expect to learn from this class. 14. Let's end this video right here at 7 minutes and 53 seconds, and we will start with the Python shell next.